Hi, Mr. Ashok Mittal, Chancellor, Lovely Professional University based in Punjab. Welcome to ET Government.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you and to all our audience. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity.
Sir, you are the largest university in the country. How do you evaluate, describe COVID-19 pandemic for you? What are your priorities at this moment?
Of course, we are the largest campus university in this country, and if we are the largest, incidentally, we are the largest hostel capacity also, because the students stay inside the campus so that they could study well. Of course, when this pandemic appeared, there was a big challenge, especially for a university our size, how to handle these students. First, of course, was their health and well-being. And first, immediately, when we got the call from the government, we tried to evacuate the hostels, the university as early as possible. And we could do that very well. And 90% of students were evacuated before the call given by the Honorable Prime Minister. And when we got that call on 24th of March, that there will not be any classes, nothing will happen. So how to run the classes? How not to make students suffer? So that was a big challenge before us on the 24th evening at around 9 p.m. So immediately we took our senior people on conference call and discussed with them. And we thought and we planned that tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., when our first class appears in campus, that will also appear through online mode. And next day, that is on 25th of March, we were running classes online at 8 a.m. Fortunately for us, we do believe in technology and we are already working on online technology much before this pandemic. All our resources, all our things were there. We can say everybody prepares for war, and when those war equipments can be used in war, you can come to know, yes, this is worth. And so we used all our preparations for online mode in this pandemic war. And all of our resources which we created were able to prove their justifications. And we could run the classes very well the very next day, very effectively. And there was no problem, of course. Face-to-face learning, there cannot be any substitute. But I think we were able to run it 80 to 90% efficiency vis-a-vis face-to-face classes.
But what are your priorities at this moment as we are experiencing the technology in higher education?
I think technology is required in every walk of life nowadays, and so as in education. And we are the first university which adopted technology from its inception. That is from 2001 when we started as a college, and 2006 when we upgraded to a university status. We adopted technology from day one. Incidentally, like in 2006, I was taking attendance through laptop. My teacher never carried a physical register in the classroom. They took attendance on laptop. And as soon as it was taken, it was available online and it was in public domain. And similarly, all other kind of technologies which were using much before this pandemic, assignment submissions, online library, you name anything, online evaluation. So all these things were available with us much before this. And we didn't face much problem in shifting to fully online technology. Similarly, my students too, they were also used to this online systems. My teaching community was also used to this online system. Of course, it was full time, means from morning to evening you have to be online. I think that was the only challenge. But my students, my teachers, my staff members, all adapted themselves to this big change very well.
Okay. Sir, so the sector is witnessing highly adoption of the technology, innovations, collaborations with the foreign universities for a blended learning, hybrid models. How do you see these opportunities? In which are the areas you feel like strengthening your systems currently?
I think we can take one by one
Yes, yes, yes.
all issues. First, because we're talking about technology, so let's continue with that, and then we'll take other issues. Technology, as I told you, we are already used to this, but of course, with the pandemic, we became better. Like online evaluation examinations. So though we were doing earlier also, but it was a challenge that all examination which used to be proctored and used to be offline, how to take care of that, its sanctity. Then we adopted new technology, new methods to have online examinations while student is sitting at his home. And we could do it very effectively. And even pass percentage didn't improve, means the student couldn't teach. And we changed our question banks. We were having question banks earlier. We made our questions bank in a different way so that students are to give answers not in express way, but in the implied manner, so that there is no direct question and no direct answer. So they are to give in a different manner. So that we changed. Similarly, little changes were carried out in different areas so that no teaching or no examination or nothing goes unhindered due to this pandemic. And we are doing very well. We could take examination twice after this pandemic, first in month of May or June, and now in December also. And experience is excellent, feedback is excellent, and we didn't face any problem. Similarly, the teaching is going regularly. Teaching examination is one part, that's academics. There are other things which are important in students' life. And we always believe in philosophy that students learn more outside classroom than inside the classroom. And the university experience is important for them. Face-to-face experience, not in classroom alone. Face-to-face experience with their friends, with their colleagues is also important. So to make that continue, we continue to host different conferences, different workshops, different seminars through online mode. Very effectively, rather the participation increased. In offline mode, participation was 1,000, 2,000. In online mode, it was 5,000, 10,000. It rather increased. We continue to host different cultural events in online mode and competitive too. Again, the participation increased because we believe that students should continue to do everything. If only they concentrate upon teaching, they will be bored. We do provide these opportunities at campus, so we should continue to provide these opportunities when they are at their homes. Very recently, 3 days back, we have conducted a Government of India sponsored online youth festival very successfully. Similarly, placements, which is very dear to students and dear to us also. How to host that? We talk to different companies, and all corporates are very, very supportive. They continue to hold placement drives, and all my students those who are willing to be placed were placed during all this pandemic period, and there was no issue and nothing wrong happened. Similarly, admissions, we continue to hold admission through online mode very successfully. Rather, our cost has gone down on certain parameters. As far as the admission part is concerned, of course, it has increased in academics or other areas, but as for the admission part is concerned. Similarly, guest lectures, again, we were able to do it through online mode. Different academic competitions, different industry competitions, hackathons. We continued all those activities. And when I see the list, the number of competitions, number of activities which were hosted or which were held during this period are much more than the earlier period, and much better participations, as I said earlier. So we tried our level best that the students should not feel that they are away from the university, they are at their homes. We try to make them mingle with the university throughout these 8-9 months. And I hope our students are very happy, their parents are also equally happy. Of course, again, I said, face-to-face, there is no substitute. But with this kind of environment, we could make them realize, I think, at least 80 to 90% that they are in the campus. I think that was on technology side. And when you're talking about other areas like
innovations and collaborations, yeah. Innovations and collaborations.
Innovations and collaborations, I think both are wonderful areas and very important. When I say innovations, first I'll again talk about academics, because as a university, that's our first responsibility. And then, of course, the research. In academics, we continue to innovate new technologies, new methods, new pedagogy, new evaluation so that we can give better experience to our students. Other than that, in placement activities, also we created new ways. Entrepreneurship activities, which is again very important. We made our students, why don't you start different online portals? So that sitting at home, of course, because we have the offline uh, entrepreneurship cell in the country, and very offline activities happen in the campus and outside the campus. But we made them learn those things also. And again, we collaborated with the different organizations so that they continue to do their entrepreneurial activities also. And we could do all those activities successfully. Again, all these things can't be done without collaborations. University, however big you may be, however old you may be, you need support from different
Yes,
agencies.
yes, 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 yes.
And when it comes to collaborations, of course, one collaboration which is the most important, I think, is the collaboration with the industry. And like in medical education, hospital is next to medical college, and you learn live there. And I think that's why a doctor is generally is able to work from the day one he gets his degree.
Okay, okay.
We try to incorporate those things in our education, which we are continuing to try. Okay, teachers are important to teach, but at the same time, we must bring industry expertise in our education.
Okay, okay.
So that we collaborated with the different industry. We requested them, okay, please give online lectures. Please, of course, they can't come to campus now. Please, through online mode, they should guide our students. What do you need?
Okay.
Not only guide, you should teach them also. You should teach them what technology you want. Teach that technology to my student. What kind of activities, project you are going to take from students when they join you? Why don't you teach those projects right now?
Wonderful, wonderful.
The kind of training you conduct in your campus when students join you, why don't you do those trainings right now?
Okay.
You will save your money, you will save your time. My students will be more active, more productive. And if they're more productive, they can get better packages.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Similarly, we engaged different industry to accept my students in the internship in their campuses, of course, where it is allowed as per pandemic, so that students can join them. And under internship, they can learn the things because they have to work on machinery also, work on certain things in live mode also, so that they can go there and do all those things. And industry is very supportive again, and including Microsoft, etc. They all helped us engage our students with them. That's a new thing which we did. And of course, one collaboration is in research area. Again, through online mode or offline mode, we continue to engage our students in research and teachers in research, so that we motivated them to write papers, write patents, write projects, write for grants, write for copyrights. So we continue to motivate students and teachers both in that area, and they did a wonderful job in that. And incidentally, in next time, uh, it's the calendar year 2019 and 2020, we have uh, more than 1000 patents have been published in LPU, more than 1000 just in 2 years time. And I think 600 only in year 2020. Highest in the country. Many patents have been granted. Again, publications are more than I think 4,000 in last calendar year during this pandemic period. Our H index during this pandemic year has gone to 71, gone up to 71. Citation again has gone up. We used all this time because you are saving on transportation, you are saving on certain physical activities. So we motivated our students, we motivated our teachers to do all these things more effectively. And I'm happy, and I must appreciate my teaching community, my student community. They responded very well and they did a wonderful job. I think year 2020 is the most fruitful year for us in terms of all these research activities. So I think that's advantage which we could get out of this pandemic. There are certain negative points, but I think positive points are much more as far as LPU is concerned. Again, in terms of foreign university tie-ups, we continue to do. and we continued good foreign university ties. And a few days back, we go to European Union grant for research activities in spite of this pandemic. So we, and of course, certain the research grants also. On entrepreneur side, we, from the government of India, we could get the Center for Entrepreneurship approved, and we are, I think, about to get the funds also from the around 7-8 crore from the government of India. We put our resources on these things, and the result is excellent. One thing which we miss, diversity during this pandemic, because our university is known for diversity. We have students from all 28 states of this country, all union territories of this country. We have students from 60 countries, and when they sit together, when they work together, they learn from each other, and which is our biggest strength. So this was the missing point during this pandemic. But again, how to make it up? We make again those students collaborate through online mode. The way we were doing in university, we made certain groups where one student is from, say, Sri Lanka, another student is from Tamil Nadu, third student from Punjab. So we made students working group, so that again they continue to learn diversity, which they were doing when they were in campus. Similarly, if there were some cultural competitions, we make group that songs will be sung by one person, one Tamil boy, one boy from Himachal Pradesh, so something like that. So we continue to do those collaborative activity also.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Very
so
interesting.
that diversity, which is the strength of LPU, is not missed if they are away at home.
I think you have utilized crisis, converted into a big opportunity for LPU and its family nicely. How significant these experiences, outcomes for future threats or future readiness?
I think we were working for offline mode for centuries, of course, and if LPU is there, we say for 20 years. Of course, we're working in online mode also, but that was 10 to 20%, and 80 to 90% was the offline mode. During this, it's the reverse. Of course, 90% is the online mode, 10% may be offline in certain things. So this conversion from offline mode to online mode has made us learn so many new things, which we would have done, but it might have taken 5 years or 10 years. I think we could prepone the learnings which were to come to us after 10 years or after 5 years. Those new learnings will help us do a better job when the university opens in offline mode fully. Because there are certain advantages of online mode also. Efficiency, better, cost saving. We will continue to utilize both things for all our future endeavors, like classroom teaching, for example. Earlier we were thinking, oh, no student should sit in the classroom for 30 hours a week. But now we think, yeah, they can do in online mode 30 hours. So at least we can give them some liberty. Of course, 22 hours you can sit in the classroom. 8 hours we can give you the teaching through online. Similarly, other activities, every time you are expecting them to come to offline mode. So we can say, no, you can do certain activities through online mode too. Continue. Bringing experts from outside. We were always expecting them to come through offline mode. Now we have got relationship with them. We have got systems installed. And we can request them, yeah, you're sitting at Mumbai. Please, we will take your lecture through online mode. Or you're sitting in Boston, we will take lecture from you through online mode. So those kind of confidence and the learnings and confidence will help us adopt the better part of online mode and mingle it with the offline mode and bring a much better model, which will be definitely beneficial to my students, beneficial to my teachers, because their learnings, their research contribution will further go up with tie up with the foreign universities or continue dialogue through online mode with the foreign universities or research institutions or government bodies, etc. And even another thing, we have good relations with the NGOs. We continue to work with NGO also. We have learned in 1 year or less than 1 year, which we would have otherwise learned in next 10 years. So those experiences, those learnings will help us to be much better ready and for our future endeavors. And of course, we will try one thing which we'll try. Uh, we wanted always that we should bring our education near to industry or seek help of active help of industry in our all disciplines, whether it's management, it's engineering, it's fashion technology, it's journalism, everything, it's agriculture. Now I think these learnings will help me better collaborate with the industry, because it is difficult for them to visit every now and then, but through online mode, they can help me in a better way. They can talk to my students in a better way. They can deliver their lectures to the students in a better way. I think that will certainly help. Similarly, working with the international university will also help uh, in a better in online mode, because it's visiting them or their visiting me is always a tough task, costly and time consuming. I think which we can now do it very effectively in a short span of time of 1 year, 1 hour or 2 hours, for which nobody minds giving that time or giving that dear resource to us.
Sir, the year 2020 also witnessed the national education policy
Ji.
from the government of India. What is your view on that?
I think it's a very bold step and by the government of India, Ministry of Education now. Earlier, before this policy, it was Ministry of Human Resource Development. After policy, it became Ministry of Education. And our Prime Minister Modi ji, he gave a wonderful roadmap to Ministry of Education to bring this policy. And our Honorable Minister, Shri Nishank ji, did a wonderful job under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Modi ji, and brought a policy which will definitely redefine the education in this country, at least for next 40 to 50 years. And we all are highly positive about it, and encouraged about the thinking of the government. And the government has committed to provide autonomy, of course, with responsibility. And this is what is expected from the government. And of course, all kind of innovations they are allowing, collaboration with the industry, they are very actively allowing. They want students to go out not with a degree. The LP philosophy was that students should not go out with a degree after 4 years, after 3 years. They should go out with a career. And the government has put our thinking also into the policy, which will help us deliver in a better way without any interruption by any uh, agencies. I think that will certainly bring a big change in the times to come. But at the same time, I think government is also very active in implementing its provisions. That's another good part. Okay, sometimes policies are made, but execution is poor. But I think execution is better than the policy itself. I think, which is highly appreciable.
In a same area, skills also, the government of India has given thrust and importance.
Yes, yes. This is what we wanted. We want that education because, very frankly, 90% students will join corporate jobs. Say 5% will join entrepreneurship, maybe 5% the government jobs or certain that kind of jobs. So it's very important that we should be very close to industry. As I said earlier, that a medical student always goes to hospital and learn. Similarly, my students should go to industry and learn while they're students. Students should be very close to industry. And under these policies, these provisions have been made. And as LP will surely encash these provisions.
So the sector and universities are trying to become future-ready universities, build world-class workforce. LPU is already a world-class university. What are unaccomplished tasks that you have? How do you see yourself going forward?
There are two important things for any university, of course: dissemination of knowledge and creation of knowledge. We have done a good as far as the dissemination knowledge is concerned. When in dissemination of knowledge, as I said earlier, I want that my student should go out with a career, not with a degree. Degree should be incidental. Degree should not, main focus should not be degree, main focus should be career. And at LPU, we define careers in 6 ways: corporate jobs, government jobs, higher studies, research, entrepreneurship, and of course, studying abroad, etc., or going abroad, etc. So we define in 6 ways, and we try to give at least 2 competencies to our students out of these 6. Students can choose generally out of 6, or maybe in certain programs out of 4. They can choose and work accordingly. We provide curricula, everything in that way to students. So they can certainly learn from those things, and that will help us make us future ready in a better way in collaboration with the industry under dissemination of knowledge category. Second is research, and you're talking about the unfinished task. So we think we have done good in area 1, but in area 2 we need to do much better. We have done a good job in last 2-3 years, wonderful job, but we need to do much better, because Indian universities are still not being figured in the top 200 times ranking worldwide, which we all feel is very bad. And LPU, of course, everybody tries to do that. At LPU, we also try, okay, we need to enter into first the top 200 list of Times Higher Education ranking as early as possible. So my first unfinished task is that to enter into that coveted list of 200 universities of Times Higher Education ranking.
When it comes to the management of LPU, have you ever made attempt to go beyond Punjab, set up institutions, expand your horizons everywhere? I mean, how do you see yourself?
I have some different views. When I see at the top universities of the world, I'm very young, very small. When I see the top, you see any top university of the world, which are 500 years old, 600-year-old, 700 years old, 200 years old, 300. All those top universities have one campus. Say it Harvard, say it Stanford, say it Princeton, say it Yale, when it is the USA, say it UPenn, say it Columbia, say it Cambridge, say it Oxford. All have one campus. So I feel if you have quality, if you're delivering quality, you will get students from worldwide. Because in this sector, students are ready to travel across the globe to join you if they are convinced with your quality of education. If you do not have quality, even your next door neighbor will not come to you. So I think we should continue with one campus philosophy so that we can put all the resources to this campus rather than dividing my resources to some other campus. I do not want to divide my resources to other campus. So concentrate on this campus. So this is the philosophy which we have at the moment, which we're having and are having at the moment. And with God's grace and the goodwill which you have generated, we are getting students from across country. My student population from South is more than 1/3 of my total student population. Similarly, I have the largest number of international students on one campus in India, I believe. Then why to do that? We feel so. But at the same time, separately, we are planning for online education. Government of India has announced new policy to allow degree through online mode, and we applied for that. Hopefully, if we get approval, we'll be able to deliver education to every nook and corner of this country and to abroad also through online mode. But again, everything will be controlled centrally at our headquarters at Punjab. This is the philosophy which we have.
Ashok Mittal ji, Chancellor, Lovely Professional University, thank you very much talking to ET government and sharing your experiences on the pandemic and future readiness technology aspects with the ET government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to be with us and give us this opportunity.